Good morning, everyone. This is Vinod again, and you are in your Tally ERP9 snippet video number 5. And today we are about to see how to work the second part of our accounting information, that is called how do you feed a trial balance in the middle of a year. For example, a company called XY and Z Limited have done their accounting for 1 month in 2020, and on 1st of May, they want to move their data from one software maybe to Tally, or they have manually maintained all the data earlier. Now they want to move it to my Tally ERP9 release 6.62. In this data, they don't maintain a separate inventory information. They are dealing with stock still, but they don't show a detailed information of stock. They want to keep the stock as a ledger, not as a stock. If such situation comes into play, how do you handle the list? So what you will do to work around with that. So here I'm going to just try to switch two different logics here. The first part is I'm going to create a new company called XYZ Internationals, and I'm going to go with the flow of it. The second one is, let me just convert that into an accounts only company where we add the entire data as stock. Then we will see two different reports when we switch our features to multiple domains. Let's see how to do that. So I'm having a trial balance here. Again, unfortunately, I didn't mention what group under these headers are going to come into play. So I'm going to explain you while I do my transactions here. So we're going to have all our kind of ledgers here and all kinds of grouping that is going to come into play. So we're going to have an liability, we're going to have an asset. We do have an indirect expenditure here. We do have a direct expenditure here, and indirect income, if any comes into play, we do have that. So let's see how to do that. Let me create a new company called XYZ International. Create a company, XYZ Internationals. So this is belong to 2020, but my books of account starts on 1/5/2020. So now my financial year is different and my book building is different because I'm doing it for the very first time in Tally. I never had this before, so probably, or else I can start from 1/4 itself, even though it's a running company, I'm starting it in the middle because I know what is the trial balance status on 30th of April 2020. So I'm going to feed that alone right now. So I'm going to just give an enter and save it. So now, as usual, I'm going to go back to my accounts info and go to my ledger. And first of all, I'm going to feed the ledgers that I have. So do I have these ledgers? Do I have a profit and loss account here in my list? In my list, I don't see a profit and loss account. Do I have cash? Yes, I do have a cash. So I'm going to just go back to my list, open the cash and feed the value of cash here and save it. So whether I build a balance sheet or whether I build a trial balance, the process or the place where I'm going to build it will remain same. Only the reporting component is going to change for us. So now I'm going to go back and feed the values. I'm going to just say, let me give them as a list. I'm going to say opening stock. You can see my date of stock is starting only on 1st of May. So I'm going to say stock in hand. There is a group available for us. And I'm going to feed the opening stock as 5,000 rupees. And when I save this, you can see nothing happens in my balance sheet right now. So it is going to still show you the logic here because I've kept the data as it is. So let me just finish the entire feeding first, then I'll show you what to do and what not to. So on the feature part, I'm going to make a changes here. Next part is purchase. So I'm going to just say purchase under purchase accounting, control end 16,750. It gives you the right debit and credit. And I'm going to just discount allowed, and I'm going to bring them under indirect expenses. So I'm adding the indirect expenses part here and 1,300 rupees. And the next one is wages. Again, wages will be a part of your direct expenses. If you have learned final accounting, probably you know these components better. And if it is a sales, then it's going to come under sales account. And I'm going to add the value here, 30,000 rupees and credit. When I deal with the logics of trial balance, please take your time because sometimes my data might give a wrong side. So it's debit, yes. And I'm going to just say traveling expenses. So traveling expenses will be a part of my indirect expenses. So I'm adding that and I'm paying commission here. Even that comes in indirect expenditure. And now I have carriage inwards. So I'll put them under direct expenses. So most of the data are coming correctly so far. So good it is for me. Then administrative expenses, indirect expenses. And then advertisement or advertisement expenses. The valuation is 600 bucks. And interest, again, indirect expenditure, 250. And I'm having a building here, fixed assets, 5,000. And furniture. This also comes under fixed assets, 200. And now I have a sales return option. So again, when it comes to Tally, we don't have sales return group separately. We are going to put that under sales. But when I put that under sales, the problem that I will have is it will show a credit balance. But sales returns is a literal opposite to the sales. So I'm going to convert this into a debit. This I have to do it manually. The system will not do it because the system selects the group as sales. So anything that comes under the group of sales will all be credit, but I'm showing the other way around. This happens even in our purchase returns if I deal with. So debtors, I'm going to call it as sundry debtors. And 4,250. And now I'm going to have creditors. Sundry creditors. The value is 2,100. I'm feeding my capital too. 15,000. So now most of them are coming correctly, so I don't have an issue. And then I'm going to say purchase returns. I'm going to make it as purchase. Then when I add the value, it is going to show a debit balance. It is a credit balance for me and save it. Once if I save it, you can see that it is not getting tallied because the stock that I've entered is not considered into the stock. So the stock value that I've had earlier was opening balance of 5,000 here. So that 5,000 was the difference that I have here. I can convert this by doing two different ways. I'll go to my F11 feature. I'll go back to the second line and set this as no. Now you can see the second line says as integrate accounts with inventory. That means if I have accounting only, there is no inventory part added to my data. So I can set that as no so that all my data that I've made will be considered as a ledger. When I give a control A, you can see automatically it got tallied, or else I'm trying this for the new time, so the first time rather. So I'm going to just go back to my list here. I'm going to set this as yes and save it. And it is going to still tally it. So I'm not going to keep the second option as alive. So I'm going to remove the second option completely because I'm not going to maintain inventory at all. So when I remove, how do I remove that is I'll make the first line as yes. So when I say maintain accounting only as yes, automatically when I feed a ledger in stock, it will be considered in my trial balance. So where I'll see my trial balance report, to see that I may not have them on my screen, I'll go to my display in the report part. I'll select trial balance. I'll give an Alt F1, which expands one level. The trial balance is a little different because I can expand even one more level if I wanted to. So earlier when I fed a balance sheet, I never had an opportunity or a chance of expanding the data to multiple level. But in a trial balance, I can see until the last line. To do that, what I did is I placed the cursor where I want to expand it. I gave a shift and enter. So it expanded and it is condensed now. So now it will expand. it will condense. The same has happened when I come to my opening stock, when I come to my data, when I come to my cash in hand. You can see a report like this. So now you learn how to feed a trial balance, and if you are adding a stock as a ledger, how you can add them by converting your F11 features to either accounts only, or you can just set the default yes option to a no called integrate accounts with inventory. Hope you learned the new logic how to feed a trial balance in Tally right now. So when I fed it, so in some places I've been a little alert where I have to choose the right headers, whether that falls on a debit side or falls on a credit side. So when I see that the purchase return comes in the credit side, whereas the purchase is on the debit side. So when I add these ledgers, it's going to come under the single group, but it's going to show the data separately. So when I come around to my purchase, you can see the purchase and purchase returns are coming in other way around. When I go to the sales and sales returns are coming in this way. So this is the difference. So when I feed the value, I will be a little careful and will change the denomination or the marks from debit to credit or credit to debit according to the system. Hope you learned a new topic. And this is Vinod from Tally ERP9 snippet and representing iSelf Academy. And we have learned video number 5, how to feed trial balance. Stay updated, stay safe, learn more. Happy accounting. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and like and comment my channel. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.